Hello students, in this video we are going to learn microsporogenesis. Microsporogenesis. The word genesis means formation. So here in this topic we are going to learn about the formation of microspore, and this process we call it as microsporogenesis. So let us learn steps involved here. So as the anther develops, each sporogenous cells that we also call microspore or pollen mother cells undergo meiotic division to form microspore tetrads. So in the last class I told you inside the tapetum there will be a presence of sporogenous tissue. Now this sporogenous tissue they will undergo what? That is meiotic division, right? So as a result of meiotic division there will be results in the formation of microspore tetrad. Why it is tetrad? You can see here. So here inside the tapetum you have the sporogenous tissue. So since they are diploid, these sporogenous tissue, as I already told, these are diploid in nature, so they will undergo meiosis. So as a result of meiosis they form now 4 microspore. So that's why it is called tetrads. So here the formation of microspores from the pollen mother cells, that is we call it as PMC, through meiosis is called microsporogenesis. So from this that is PMC, right? So what is PMC? Pollen mother cells. So it results in the formation of tetrad. So this we called it as, or this process we called it as microsporogenesis. So the next process that we are going to see here, so once there is a formation of microspore, so from this microspore, so how they are dissociated to form pollen grains, or how the microspore are mature to form pollen grains. So here you can see, and we have just taken one microspore. So you can see the nucleus at the center. Now what happened? So the next step will be the formation of vacuoles. So here you can see there will be a formation of vacuoles. So as a result of the formation of vacuoles, this nucleus become acentric. In the next step we can see here, so this nucleus now will divide, right? So they will undergo division, and as a result of this there will be a formation of two cells. One is vegetative cells and the other one is generative cells. So the mature pollen grains will consist of, that is, vegetative cells which will be larger in size, and there will be a formation of generative cells which will be smaller in size. Now this each microsporangium contain thousands of pollen grains and they are released with the dehiscence of methods. Let's learn the structure of pollen grain. Pollen grains are basically they are spherical in nature, and in diameter they are 25 to 50 mm in diameter. The cytoplasm is surrounded by plasma membrane. So here you can see the cytoplasm is surrounded by the plasma membrane, and the pollen grain has two layers. One is exine and intine. So this is your cytoplasm which is surrounded by the plasma membrane, and these pollen grains consist of two layers. Now what are they? That is, one is the outer layer which we call it as exine, and the inner layer that we call it as intine. Now let us discuss about this one by one. Now the first one is exine. Now what is exine? So exines is the outermost layer which is the hard in structure. Why they are hard in structure? Because they are made up of sporopollenin. The outermost structure of this pollen grain, you can see here, it is made up of what? Sporopollenin. Okay, so that's why they are harder, right? Now what is the specialty about this sporopollen? They are highly resistant to the organic material. Okay, so it can withstand to the high temperature or strong acid even in the alkali medium. So even enzyme cannot degrade the sporopollen, because during pollination, right, so when the pollen grains falls on the stigma, it's not like that all of a sudden the fertilization will takes place. So it may, when the pollen grains falls on the stigma, it may take some a few months or few weeks the fertilization to occur. So till then the pollen grains has to
changing
withstand.
environment and the very high temperature. So, the outermost covering of exine is made up of sporopollen.
Now, exine has an apparatus that we call it as germ pore. Now, what is germ pore here? You can see here in some of the places of exine, you can see the exine is absent here. In this places, you can see the exine is absent. In that region, we call it as germ pore. Now, what is the germ pore? Germ pores are nothing but in during fertilization, from the germ pore, the pollen tube arises. Okay, so this is the main function of the germ pore. So here the pollen grains are preserved as a fossils due to the presence of sporopollen. This is very important point. Many of the time in 1 mark question, this type of question may be asked, right? The pollen grains are preserved as fossils due to the presence of what? This sporopollen. Now next to that is intine. So intine is the inner wall, and it has thin and continuous layer, and it is made up of cellulose as well as pectin. Now in this intine, there is two type of cells, as I already told. It is made up of vegetative cell as well as generative cells. Now what are these vegetative cells? So it is bigger and has abundant food reserve and large irregular shaped nucleus. As well as the generative cells, they are smaller and floats in the cytoplasm of the vegetative cell, and it is spindle shaped with dense cytoplasm and nucleus. So here you can see over 60% of angiosperms, they shed their pollen grains at 2-cell stage. Now what is this 2-cell stage? So when the pollen grains consist of one larger vegetative cell and the smaller generative cells, this we call it as 2-cell stage. So most of the pollen grains, they they shed off at this 2-cell stage, but 40% of these pollen grains, so what happens to this, to the generative cells, right? So here the generative cells further divide, okay, and mitotic as 3-cell stage. So most of the angiosperm, they shed their pollen grains, that is around 40% of pollen grains will shed off at this 3-cell stage. So this is also one of the very important point. So the shed pollen grains have to land on the stigma before they lose viability. Right now, what is viability period? So viability period of the pollen grain is variable. It depends upon the temperature and humidity. Now, what is viability period? When the pollen grains falls on the stigma, now the pollen grains will what? Produce pollen tube and fertilization will occur, right? So this period we call it as viability period. But this pollen grains, when falls on the stigma, the viability period may vary, right, depending upon the temperature and the humidity. Now viability of pollen grains of some cereals like rice, wheat, it is around 30 minutes. So within 30 minutes you can see there will be a formation of pollen tube and fertilization takes place, right? But some members of leguminous, rosaceae and solanaceae have viability for over the month. So that's why I told, when the pollen grains falls on the stigma, immediately they doesn't undergo fertilization. It will take some of the pollen grains undergo they are viable within a minute, or some of the pollen grains need to wait for around 1 month. So that's why you can see the outermost layer, that is exine, is made up of sporopollen. Now let us discuss about some of the economical importance of pollen grains. So these are rich in nutrients. So the pollen tablets are used as food supplements. Pollen tablets and syrup of the tablets and syrups are available, so that they can increase the performance of athletes as well as the race horse. They are stored for years liquid liquid nitrogen around 160 degrees Celsius. So and they are used as a pollen bank. So this pollen grains can be preserved, okay, in a liquid nitrogen around 160 degrees Celsius in order to for performing breeding programs. Now, pollen grains of some plants like parthenium or carrot grass are allergic for some people, and it leads to chronic respiratory disorders like asthma, bronchitis, and etc. Even pollen grains are allergic to certain person.